Hello, hello, hello. Okay, let's wait for 2 more minutes, 3 minutes. So then we'll start. Okay, let people join. Okay, so let's begin to the another session of Java programming. Yesterday we discussed so many concepts related with Java. Okay, it's like why Java, okay, and what is Java, how to learn Java. That is the basic three concept which you need to understand before starting a language. Okay, so in why Java exactly we discussed about not even Java, even all we discussed about many technologies like why there is a need of C and C++, why there is a need of like language like VB.NET. Okay, why there is a need of database like what is front end, back end. I hope you have watched the previous lecture so that you got a clarity like why there is a need of Java. Okay, so yesterday we discussed about the concept of platform independency, right? Java is a platform independent language, and that's for the reason why Java needed in 1995, why people thought about the Java programming. Okay, so that all concept we have discussed in the last session, but see, there are some more area which we need to cover. Like in last lecture we discussed about some of the area, like there are different categories of software like system software. Okay, so what is system software already we discussed. Okay, what is application software, that part we covered in last video. Okay, what is web application, that also we discussed in last video, like web application, static website, dynamic website. Okay, now see the another area where Java is still used in the market. Okay, like the another most important area is like system software, web application, and next one is device application, right? So what is device application and what exactly the Java need for this device application? You know, device application means what? Mobile application. I'm talking about mobile application. Okay, so device application means what? A software which runs on mobile. Okay, I'm talking about those type of software which runs on mobile like APKs. Okay, so you know nowadays there are two versions required of any software. One is a web version and second is a mobile version. Like you know, banking sector, right? A bank is having its website as well as bank is having its app. Okay, any e-commerce website is having a website as well as app. So now every software required two versions. One is web version, so anyone can access this website. Okay, and second is an app version, so anyone can access the same data from app only. Okay, so here you know there are a lot of algorithms, there are a lot of, you can say that frameworks are required. Okay, that I'll discuss in upcoming session. Okay, like architectures are required like ORM architecture. Okay, then we'll discuss about ORM architecture, we'll discuss about MVC architecture. Okay, means I'll cover each and every concept in Java related with the architecture also, like object, relational mapping, model view controller. These are the very most important architecture you need to understand, right? But let me first discuss about this device application. It's another important and interesting concept. Device application means what? I'm talking about mobile application. Okay. So, there is a big history of a mobile application. Earlier days when mobile came in the market, okay, it was a native platform. Actually, in mobile, there are two types of platform. One is called native platform and second is called cross platform. Native platform and cross platform. What is the meaning of native platform and what is the meaning of cross platform, right? Native platform means what? Once you design any software related with this mobile, okay, so it works on a particular operating system only. Like suppose if you design okay, tell me one thing. How many of you know this concept? Like suppose if I use any software on Android operating system, like suppose an APK, okay, so if I use this, if I downloaded this APK from Android Play Store, so can I use the same APK in iOS application? Okay, tell me yes or no. Means suppose there are two Play Stores. One is an Android Play Store and second is an iOS Play Store. So is Android software works in iOS? Is it yes or no? Means suppose I downloaded one APK file from Android Play Store. So can I use the same APK file in iOS software or I need some another application? Okay. So tell me yes or no. Obvious answer is no, because reason is that Android is having a different operating system and iOS having a different operating system. Okay, that is exactly called a native platform. That is called a native platform, right? So Java is another language which very frequently used for Android development, right? So Java is the backbone of an Android. So even Java is a language which can be used for Android application also, right? Like nowadays, Kotlin is the preferred choice for like mobile application development, okay, for native platform. But yes, the concept of Kotlin is actually based on Android. So once you know the Android concept, once you know the Java concept, there is another door open for you and that is a mobile application market, right? What is cross-platform? Cross-platform means you design one application and you can use this application in both the operating system. For iOS you have to go with Swift. There are languages called, there is a language called Swift and there is a language also Swift is there, and for Android you have to understand Java concept, right? There is another language which earlier used for iOS application, Objective-C. Objective-C was the language which earlier used for iOS application, but later on the language which is used for iOS application, that is Swift, and for Android application, that is Java. And nowadays the application, actually the scenario has been changed now because Java is Android shifted to Kotlin, okay, and for cross platform we have a languages like React.js, Native.js, right? So see, as time is changed, definitely technology is changed, right? But Java still be one of the powerful language for mobile application development also. One interesting concept about this Android name. How many of you know the interesting concept about Android name? Like when Android came in the market, okay, Android has given the name of their operating system. Okay, versions are there, 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. But what is the interesting thing? Anyone no idea about this concept? Like what is the interesting concept about the name of Android operating system? Anyone is having any idea? It's a very interesting concept. Like when Android came in the market, they have given the name of operating system with one interesting concept. Anyone having any idea? Okay, just type in your chat box. No? No idea? Is anyone having any idea like what is the interesting about name of the operating system of Android, right? I'll tell you, right? Android has given, like suppose when Android launched its first version, no doubt versions are there, 1.0, 2.0, current version is 15.0, right? But earlier days when Android came in the market, okay, and the backbone of Android is a product of Google, exactly, right? So they have given the name like alphabets, A, B, C, D, E, and it is exactly the name of desserts and chocolates. Chocolates name, right? Let me show you, like Android Alpha was the first version, Android Alpha, then Android Beta. Okay, Android Alpha was the name of the first version, Android Beta, then Cupcake. Okay, for D it is Donut, E. Okay, let me write first A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. This was the name exactly, alpha version, beta version, Android Alpha, Android Beta, then Cupcake, Donut, Eclairs, Frio, Ginger Bite, Honey Cob, Ice Cream Sandwich, Jelly Bean, Kit Kat, Lollipop, Marshmallow, Nuggets, Oreo, Pie. This was the name of an operating system, like 1.0, then 1.5, then 2.0, 2.5. No doubt, numbers are there in the version, right? But they have given the name something like this, alpha version, beta version, Cupcake, name of desserts. Okay, that was the concept used by Google for Android operating system. Cupcake, Donut, Eclairs, Frio, Ginger Bite, Honey Cob, Ice Cream Sandwich, Jelly Bean, Kit Kat, Lollipop, Marshmallow, Nugget, Oreo, Pie. So interesting concept, right? But later on, after P, actually they use a numbers like, okay, 10.0, 11.0, okay. So like O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, but this Q is 10.0. Okay, now it is 11.0, 12.0, something like 13.0, 14.0. Okay, and last one is 15.0. This was the current version. Okay, 15.0, which was the current version. Okay, but earlier days, they used the name something like this. So the concept behind this Android means, suppose if you want to become an Android developer in future, if you want to become a mobile developer in future, then again Java is one of the area, again Java is one of the language which can play a very important role even in this mobile application area also. So device application is there, okay, like, if you want to become a web developer, then Java is here. If you want to become a desktop application developer, then Java is available. If you want to become a mobile application developer, then Java is available. If you want to become a gaming application developer, again, lot of libraries are there in Java, okay, by which you can easily design gaming application. I'll show you in my coding part. Don't worry about this. We'll cover the gaming application also when I'll come to this topic. So gaming application is also one of the hot area right now. Okay, there are a lot of opportunities in these areas also. Like if you want to become a game developer, then again Java is an important language. Then again Java plays no doubt there are a lot of languages are available. But yes, Java is one of the main lead role nowadays for gaming application. For IoT application like Internet of Things, what exactly this IoT application is? Internet of Things, right? IoT, IIoT, Industrial Internet of Things, Let me show you about a brief introduction about this IoT. Earlier days when internet came, okay, we use internet for what purpose? Like email, to check the email, to browse the website. Okay, nowadays even we use the internet for the same purpose, like for browsing purpose. Okay, in mobile. Okay, then earlier internet was used in computer. When internet came, there was a computer laptops was there, right? So earlier internet was used in laptop, computer, then market has been shifted, right? Nowadays, you can easily use internet in your mobile application also. Okay, just switch off, just switch off your mobile data for 24 hours. So you feel like mobile is something heavy device in your hand. Because nowadays a mobile is mainly used for internet purpose, not for calling or receiving. The main purpose of mobile nowadays is an internet activities, right? So then internet shifted to mobile application. But nowadays with the use of internet, even you can operate the device of your home. Siri is one of the best example. Okay, so this is what IoT application, Internet of Things. Now you can easily operate the devices with internet. You can, if suppose you want to if you want to on your AC, you can simply say a command to Siri, okay Siri, on the AC. So Siri will ready to on your AC, right? So this type of an application, this is called an IoT application, Internet of Things. Nowadays, another important concept, IIoT, Industrial Internet of Things. Even now, industry use IoT applications. Got my concept? So this is what the area where you can easily use Java for development. See, there are a lot of areas Java covered. Okay, Java, that's for the reason yesterday I told you that Java is a Mahabharata. Okay, you cannot say that Java is only a single hero. There are a lot of heroes in Java. Like you can use Java for web application, you can use Java for mobile application, you can use Java for IoT application. Plays a very important role in IoT application, gaming application. So which area, okay, in which area we want to go, the Java is available in that area. No doubt. Right now, if you want to become an AI ML developer, then definitely Python is on the lead role. Java is not touch that you can say that level what Python achieved nowadays for AI ML application specifically, right? For web application, Python is not a suitable language. Even for you can say that mobile application, Python is not a suitable language. Okay, so Python is not at all a language which is actually used for mobile application development. Python is a very few software you find like for web application where Django is there, right? So right now Python is a one-sided language for AI ML application, no doubt. Okay, because their libraries are there. So if you want to plan AI ML application development, so definitely Java is right now not a suitable option, because Java is best for gaming application, IoT application, IIoT application, okay, for commercial application like enterprise application, okay, for banking application, for security purpose. So these are a lot of areas there where you can actually like plan your career. Okay, so this is what we discussed till now. Why Java? Okay, why Java? Because this is the most important concept we need to understand, like why there is a need to learn Java language. And I hope you have a clarity now from yesterday to till now. Okay, because from yesterday I explained you about why there is a need of Java in the market right now, why Java is a top 5 language, why Java is among the top 5 language right now. Because huge area covered by Java, right? Like lot of versions has been developed, like from 1.0, the current version of Java is 24.0. Okay, so this is why Java concept, right? But now let me come to the next point, and that is, what is Java? Okay, because even in the last video I told you, these are the 3 most important things you need to understand, like why Java. Second is, what is Java? Okay, so how you can define Java in a single line? It's quite difficult to define a Java in a single line, but in interview you have to define Java in 1 or 2 lines. So how you can define Java in a single 1 or 2 line? Sometimes if I ask this question to a student, okay, in an interview, suppose if an interviewer asks you, okay, define Java in a 1 line. So how you can define this, right? So here you have to cover 3 major features of Java. For that, actually for these 3 major reasons, Java is well known in the market. Okay, so what is, Java is having lot of features. Okay, multi-threaded language, Java is support exception handling, Java is cross-platform, Java is simple, Java is secure, and lot of features are there. But if you want to define Java in a single line, simply we can say that Java is an object-oriented, platform-independent, okay, Java is an object-oriented, platform-independent, open source language. Okay, Java is an object-oriented, platform-independent, open source language. And these 3 features are itself an ocean. Object-oriented programming is an ocean. Object-oriented programming is a huge concept. And before learning any language nowadays, first you have to clear the concept of object-oriented programming. Because nowadays, most of the languages, 99.99, 100% technologies nowadays are object-oriented programming language. Okay, now I'm not talking about purely object-oriented, because there is a difference between object-oriented and purely object-oriented, right? I'll cover all this concept, don't worry about this, right? But once we define Java in a single line, we can simply say that Java is an object-oriented, platform-independent, open source language. And then later on, we'll add some more features like Java is a secure language, Java supports multi-threading, Java supports exception handling. Okay, Java is having collection framework. We use Java for web application, we use Java for mobile application development, we use Java for gaming application development. Java is a one-sided language for IoT application. So there are a lot of features are there, but these 3 are the most important feature: object oriented, platform independent, and open source. Okay, so I hope you understood till now, like what exactly is Java, okay, what exactly, why there is a need of Java, okay. So now let me explain you all this concept one by one, okay. What is object oriented concept? What do you mean by platform independency? What is the meaning of open source, okay. And another important feature, you know, Java is a freeware language. Freeware. Java is a freeware language, right? So what does it mean, sir? Freeware means what? Object oriented, platform independent, open source, freeware language. So let me start with this last concept. Then we'll discuss about open source, then platform independency, and then object oriented programming, or anyone in between them, okay. But let me start with this freeware, okay. You know, any one of you have any idea, like if language is called a freeware language, what does it means? Okay, let me tell you. Okay, I'll explain you, don't worry about this. But do you have any idea about this, like why languages are called freeware language? Anyone? Anyone is having any idea about this? Like why language is called a freeware language? Okay, so let me show you like what exactly the meaning of this freeware. You know, there are two types of softwares are there in market. Once you, for working in any of the language, like suppose I'm talking about .NET, or like suppose like software like MS Office. So you have to purchase a licensed version of that. Like Windows, you require a licensed version of Windows to run in your machine, right? But some of the softwares which are called freeware. Freeware means no need to purchase this software for working. Like suppose if you want to install Java in your machine, no need to purchase any licensed software for that. Because Java is a freeware language, right? And that's the reason Java is that much popular in the market. No need to purchase any software to run Java in your machine. It takes hardly 10 minutes and Java install in your machine, right? I'll show you all this concept when I'll come to the practical part. It hardly takes 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, and your machine is ready for Java application. The day we start coding, before that I'll show you like how to install Java. Okay, so what does it mean? Freeware means it's a freely available. Okay, you simply go to the official website of Oracle. You can simply download the Java setup and install in your machine, and your machine is ready for Java application development. So this is what the meaning of freeware, right? No need to purchase any licensed software. Okay, and there are a lot of languages, not even Java. There are a lot of languages are there, which is a freeware language. Python is a freeware language. No need to purchase any licensed version for Python. No need to purchase any licensed version for Java, right? So there are a lot of language, but yes, earlier days Java actually came with this concept. It's a freeware, right? Now the next question comes in mind, sir, if Java is a freeware, then how company earn that? There is a big question, like, okay, if a language is a freeware, okay, developer develop this language and freely available for people. Okay, so how the company earn then? Like it's a very interesting question, right? See, languages are freeware, but there are a lot of more resources are there, okay, by which actually company or developer earn, right? Suppose they have given a language freeware, right? But you know, if something, when new concept is means given by a developer in their version, so definitely they have taken some workshop. Okay, they have taken some, they will conduct some workshop, they will conduct some seminars, and they earn according. Like suppose Java, like current version of Java is 24.0, right? So if they come up with the next version like 25.0, so what's new in that version? They will conduct a workshop, they will conduct a seminar for that. So this is the earning point. Okay, this is the earning area. Okay, another, like they published a book. So that is another area by which they easily earn. Okay, so freeware doesn't mean that the resources of earning has been stopped, right? Freeware is available for a programmer, right? So Java is a freeware language. No need to purchase any licensed software to run Java in your machine, right? So this is the one concept. And second is, it is an open source language. I'll cover this topic in my upcoming session also, don't worry, because see, once we are talking about open source, there are two types of concepts are there. One is called Open JDK and second is called Oracle JDK. So what is the difference between this Open JDK and Oracle JDK. I'll explain you this concept when I'll come to the coding part, because this time I just want to explain you the concept in a very simple manner. That is what, like, I'm not talking about any technical concept, right? Okay, so Open JDK, Oracle JDK, this is the concept we need to understand in upcoming sessions, right? But yes, open source means what? The source code of Java is available for community. You know, Java is having a huge community. Okay, there are a lot of top level developer associated with this community, right? Okay, if you really want to become a Java developer, so my first suggestion to you that please join the community of Java, because there are a lot of top level developers, there are a lot of top level programmers are actually associated with this community. So if you face any problem, you can just type your problem. Okay, you will get your solution within 5 or 10 minutes, because there are a lot of developers are there who are actually ready to help you. Okay, so this community people required a source code if they want to suggest some new concept to a Java developer, to a the company of Oracle company, because Java is right now is a product of Oracle, right? So for that community people, Java has given open source concept. Right. So what does it mean? I hope you understand. Open source means the source code of Java is available. Okay, openly available. So that language is called open source language. But how Java is an open source, right? I'll show you this concept when I install Java. Okay, that time definitely you will get a folder where you will find all the Java files. Okay, so open source means what? The source, whatever the code written by Java developer to develop a Java language, right? The source code is openly available for that community people, so that the community people suggest something new to a Java developer. Because for that, like suppose if I am a Java developer, okay, I use Java from last 20 years, and suppose if Java has come up with the new concept, okay, so I tried to add some new in that existing one. Like suppose there are 4 method given by Java developer, like X, Y, Z. Okay, now suppose if I use Java from last 20 years, then I realize that okay, if this 10 lines is added in this existing code, okay, then there will be a possibility of new function called queue. There will be a possibility. But for that I required this existing code. Being a Java developer, being a programmer of Java, you can say that, being a community people, I required this existing code so that I'll do hit and trial, and I'll able to develop any new function, okay, in new method. So for that people, actually this source code is openly available. So Java is a open source language, Java is a freeware language. Okay, now the two most important concept, Java is an object oriented platform independent language. This is the most important concept, you know. So first let me show you what exactly the meaning of object oriented programming. Object oriented programming, right? Okay, so when we say that a language is an object oriented programming language, and there is a big doubt, like Java is a purely object oriented. Okay, someone says okay, Java is a purely object oriented language, right? But someone says Java is not a purely object oriented, right? Java is a partially object oriented. So sir, which is the correct answer? Like Java is a purely object oriented or it is a partially object oriented, right? I'll say that Java is more object oriented as compared to existing languages. Like Java is a more object oriented as compared to C++. Java is more object oriented as compared to Python. But yes, Java is not purely object oriented programming language. Only one language which is a purely object oriented, which is called Smalltalk. Smalltalk is a language which is exactly a pure object oriented programming language. Okay, but yes, Java is again not a purely object oriented, but yes, Java is more object oriented as compared to the existing languages. Now how can we say that Java is a more object oriented as compared to C++? Java is a more object oriented as compared to Java, but why not it is a purely object oriented, right? Because you know, once we talk about a purely object oriented concept, these are some of the technical words you need to understand. Okay, you need to understand. Okay, see, if suppose language want to become a purely object oriented, then this language required each and everything in the form of classes and object. There is no primitive data type. If there is no primitive data type exist in a language, then we say that it's a purely object oriented. If language don't have any static concept, then we say that it is a purely object oriented. But just Java is having a primitive data type. Okay, now sir, what is the meaning of primitive data type? Primitive data type means what? The variable which we declare, like for int a. If you have any idea about any language, so you can easily understand, like, and if you don't have, don't worry about this. I'll cover each and every concept, because yesterday I told you that for me, you are a beginner. For me, you learn first language, which is the Java language. So if you are able to understand, then it's okay. Otherwise, don't worry about this, right? But yes, if Java is having a primitive data type like int, float, okay, so and Java is having a concept of variable like int, float, char, double, okay, that's the reason we say that Java is not purely object oriented. But yes, one thing, please try to understand, the structure of Java is based on object oriented concept. There is a concept in object oriented called inheritance, and we say that the structure of Java is based on inheritance. So Java is based on object oriented programming. It is not support object oriented programming. Like in C++, we say that C++ supports the concept of object oriented programming. Even without object oriented programming, it is possible that we do a programming in C++. Without object oriented programming, it is possible that we do a programming in Python, because they support both procedure concept as well as object oriented concept. If any one of you having any idea, if you are having, then please type in your chat box. Will it be required compulsory to create a class in Python to write a program for hello? This is, I hope you understand my question. Is it compulsory to write a class in Python to print hello? Or like suppose if I'll tell you, okay, write a program to print your name. So is it compulsory to create a class in Python? Anyone is having any idea? If you have any idea, then please type it. If you don't have any idea, just forget about this, okay? See, there is no need. Exactly, there is no need to write any class in Python to print hello world. There is no need to write any class in Python to print your name. Even tell me one thing. Is it compulsory to create a class in C++ to print your name or print hello world? In C++. If you have any idea, please type in your chat box, okay? Because as much as this class is interactive, you will be able to understand the things more better. So be interactive, okay? Is it compulsory to create a class in C++ to print hello world program? No, because C++ supports object oriented programming. You know what exactly C++ is? C++ is called C with object oriented programming. C with object oriented programming, right? Okay, means this language is called both procedure oriented. It is a procedure oriented as well as object oriented. C++ is both procedure oriented and object oriented. There is a concept of procedure oriented, like no need to, object oriented means what? Everything you have to write in the form of class and object. But in C++, if you are not creating any class, still you are able to write a program. Please try to understand. Even we say that Python is both procedure and object oriented programming language, right? Even in Python, it is not at all required to create a class. It is both procedure and object oriented language, right? Means, if you learn Python, then object oriented concept will start after 10 or 15 days. If you are trying to learn C++, then object oriented concept will start to learn after completion of C concept, like, because earlier you have to understand like data type, array, function, okay, if else statement, conditional statement, and then after will start like class concept, object concept, inheritance concept, encapsulation concept. So in C++, it is possible that you are able to write a program without creating a class. In Python, it is possible that you are able to write a program without creating a class, but in Java, it is not at all possible. For print and hello world program, you need to create a class first, because each and everything in Java is a member of a class. You are not able to write anything in Java without creating a class. If you want to run your program for print hello world, if you want to run your program for print your name, first you have to create a class. Then after put method inside this class. If you have any idea about, in C and C++, which is a driver method, which is a driver function, anyone is having idea? In C and C++, which is a driver function. Even Python also used internally that driver function. Okay, which is a driver function in C and C++? Anyone? Anyone is having any idea? Please be interactive. Okay. If you don't have any idea, okay, write it. No, sir, I don't know anything about this, right? In C and C++, the driver function is main. You have to start your program with main. Okay. I hope you understood. Like in C, it is compulsory that each and everything you have to write in main method. In C++, it is compulsory you have to write each and everything in main method, right? So even in Java, we required a main. But in C++, main is outside the class. It is not at all need to create any class in C++ to write this main function. But in Java, you have to write this main method inside a class only. Here one thing may be confused, like sir, sometimes you say that it's a function, sometimes you say that it's a method. There is a big difference between function and method, and it is a very frequently asked question of interview. What is the difference between function and method? And even one more thing, like procedure. What is the difference between function, method and procedure, right? I'll explain you all this concept when I'll come to the coding part, right? But please try to understand the importance of this object-oriented programming related with Java. Java concepts are based on object-oriented programming. Java is not procedure-oriented programming language like C++, like Python. Python supports both the concept. If someone of you are having any idea of Python, then anyone can tell me, like if anyone of you are having any idea of Python, in Python is a variable concepts are there in Python, or each and everything in Python is an object? Python is having a variable, or everything in Python is an object? In Python, we don't have a variable. Each and everything in Python is an object. Definitely Python. So sir, why then we not say that Python is a purely object-oriented programming language? Because in Python, it is not at all required to declare any class to write a program. Even Python supports static concept. So if a language is having a static concept like a static method, a static block, okay, without means static means what? No need to create object to call the data member of a class, right? I'll explain you. Okay, means technical concept, don't worry about this. Please start to understand, like if a language is having a variable or a static concept, okay, then we say that it is not a purely object oriented. A language is called a purely object oriented when each and everything in this language is in the form of object language, don't have any static concept, and there is only one language which is in small talk right now. But Java is more object. So sir, how we can define Java related with object oriented? So here we say that again Java is more object oriented as compared to C++. And don't worry why there is a need of object oriented. I'll explain you each and every concept, because in interview at least 10 minutes they will ask you question related with object oriented programming, being a fresher. Because they know very well, if a person knows the object-oriented programming concept, he or she will be able to he or she will be able to work any of the language. Because right now 99% technology is based on object-oriented programming, even not 99, you can say that 100%. Language is not able to sustain in current market if language is not an object-oriented programming language. A developer is not able to sustain in current market if he or she don't have the concept of object-oriented, if he or she don't have any knowledge of object-oriented programming language. So that's why the reason, being a fresher in interview means maximum question, they will ask related with object-oriented programming. So what does it means, like what is object-oriented programming? Okay, so Okay, let me show you. There are different types of languages like procedure oriented. Okay, procedure oriented language, object oriented language, and third is called object based programming language. Object based programming language, right? So there is a difference, there is a difference between procedure oriented and object oriented. There is a difference between object oriented and object based programming language, right? This is the very frequently asked questions of interview. What is the difference between procedure oriented and object oriented? What is the difference between object oriented and object based programming language, right? So now let me show you all this concept, like what is object oriented programming, why there is a need of object oriented programming. Okay, so procedure oriented language means what? Where each and every concept is based on function, where there is no reusability concept, there is no security concept. Okay, there is no encapsulation concept, right? Procedure oriented means what? There is the maximum concept is based on function. Like C, we said that C is a procedure oriented programming language because there is no inheritance concept in C language. There is no data encapsulation concept in C language, which is a requirement of current market, or you can say that time, okay, like when the people thought about object oriented programming, right? That time C was the language who dominated, right? But C is having a lot of disadvantage, like C is having garbage concept. C, in C we are having a garbage values. Okay, so garbage value is one of the disadvantage of a language. See, don't have any object oriented concept. There is no reusability possible in C language, right? So procedure oriented means what? There is a fixed procedure, like you can say that structure, you have to follow that structure only to write any code. So in C language, everything is based on function. If any one of you have any idea, like C is having, everything is in the form of function, like main in C is a function, printf is a function, scanf is a function, okay, getch is a function, clr is a function. Everything in C and C++ is actually based on function. The solution of 90% problem in C language is in the form of function only, right? So that's why we say that C is a procedure oriented, it is a function oriented programming language. While in object oriented programming, everything is in the form of object, everything is in the form of classes. Okay, so sir, what exactly the meaning of object oriented programming, and how what is the beautiful concept about this object oriented programming? The concept of object oriented programming is based on real world. So what type of concept I'm talking about? There are a lot of concepts are there in object oriented programming. Let me show you, like object oriented programming. Okay, features of object oriented programming. Listen it very carefully if you want to clear an interview of topmost MNCs. Believe me, 90% question, earlier 10 minutes they will ask you related with object oriented programming. Your interview starts with, means in interview, suppose they will ask you, okay, tell me something about yourself. Okay, then after they will start when the technical part will start, okay, definitely they will ask you, okay, tell me what is object oriented programming concepts. So believe me, these are the very most important concept for interview room. Okay, so what exactly this object oriented programming is? So object oriented programming, please listen it very carefully. Object oriented programming is not a language. Object oriented programming is not a language. Object oriented programming are the concept. And if language follows this concept, we say that this language is an object oriented programming language. Right. So which concept I'm talking about? Which are the concepts related with this object oriented programming? There are a lot of concepts are there. But again, I'm telling you, don't confuse, like object oriented programming is not a language. Object oriented programming are a concept. Okay, it's a concept, it's a feature. And if language follows this concept, so that we say that it is an object oriented programming language. Okay, so which concept I'm talking about? Concepts like polymorphism. Okay, concepts like, the second concept is data hiding. Okay, the concept like data hiding. Third is abstraction. Okay, third one is abstraction. And the combination of data hiding plus abstraction is called encapsulation. encapsulation. Okay, data hiding and abstraction is called encapsulation. So polymorphism is one of the concept, data hiding, abstraction, which is exactly called encapsulation, right? Fourth one is inheritance. Inheritance, there is a concept called inheritance, one of the most, it's suppose someone asked me, sir, according to you, which is the most important concept of object oriented programming? No doubt. See, every concept of object oriented programming is unique. Every concept is important, like data hiding, encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, right? But the most important concept for me, it is an inheritance concept. Because nowadays the world, you know, you'll see the growth in this IT industry, the main reason of this growth is an object-oriented programming. Like every day we'll find like new version of mobile come in the market, means after, and every 6 months we will find a new operating system, new version of mobile, new software. Okay, so this is because of this object-oriented programming. Because this object-oriented programming is having a concept of inheritance, reusability concept. Okay, no doubt, each and every concept I'll explain, like inheritance. Okay, then some more concept, polymorphism, data hiding, abstraction, encapsulation. Okay, inheritance. The next one is class. The next one is object. Okay, class, object. Then seventh concept is a relation. Okay, then eighth concept is has a relation. Okay, is a relation, has a relation, polymorphism, data hiding, abstraction, inheritance, encapsulation, class, object, is a relation. Okay, let me write in a proper manner, like is a relation. Okay, next one is has a relation. Okay, then ninth is association. Association. Okay, then 10th is aggregation. These are the most important concept of object oriented programming you need to understand if you want to clear an interview of topmost MNCs. Like each and every concept right now is the most important concept, like polymorphism, data hiding, abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, class, object, is a relation, has a relation, okay, association, aggregation. So these are the most important concept of object-oriented programming. So if language want to become an object-oriented programming language, that language must follow all this concept. So that we say that a language is an object-oriented programming language. Like C++ supports all the concept. Okay, in C++ we have polymorphism concept, data hiding concept, abstraction concept, inheritance concept, right? So that is an object-oriented programming language. But yes, it is not purely object-oriented. Why? Because the language is not based on this concept. The language also support procedure-oriented concept. Like in C++ we have a data type, in C++ we have a static concept, right? Even Java supports all this concept like polymorphism in more better way as compared to C++. You know, when we'll see the difference between C++ and Java, I'll tell you this thing also, that time also, like Java is more object-oriented as compared to C++. When I compare Java with Python, I'll say that Java is more object-oriented as compared to Python. And that is a key feature of Python. That is a key feature of Java, not of Python. That is a key feature of Java. Java is a object-oriented, platform-independent, open source, freeware language. Okay, so object-oriented, I hope you understood, like polymorphism. So sir, what are these concepts? What is the meaning of polymorphism? What is the meaning of data hiding, abstraction? And earlier you told that, sir, there is a language called object-based programming language. So what is the meaning of that object-based programming language? So I'll cover all this concept. Let me take a break of 2 to 3 minutes and then I'll cover all this concept. Okay. Meanwhile, if you have any doubt, you can just type your questions in chat box. So first I'll discuss all this question and then I'll explain you all this concept. Okay. So if you have any doubt, please type it. Okay, so let me cover some of the question. Okay, so okay, Python, actually someone asked Deepesh sir, I think Python is a purely object oriented programming language because everything in Python is an object. Okay, but Deepesh, Python is not purely object oriented. Reason is that Python supports procedure oriented concept also. Okay, so we cannot say that Python is having a static concept also. Okay, so if language want to become an object oriented programming language, this language don't have a concept like procedure oriented concept. Okay, each and everything is based on classes and object, but Python don't have. Okay, so we cannot say that Python is a purely object oriented, right? And some more question, let me cover. PUP is not supports code reusability. Okay. Okay, composition is also there. Deepesh, don't worry, I'll cover that topic also. So classes and object, yes. So project, definitely we'll cover project also. You know, duration of this complete series, this is my surety that I'll cover in core Java itself. I'll cover 10 to 15 project. I'm not talking about advanced Java. Okay, you know, when I'll come to the what is Java concept, like in details, like how to start Java, before that I'll show you like roadmap. Okay, so in this roadmap actually I'll discuss like Java is divided in 3 categories: core Java, advanced Java and corporate Java, and in every part I'll cover minimum 10 to 15 project. In core Java itself I'll cover minimum 10 to 15 like there is no limit for maximum, but minimum 15 project will develop duration of this series. Don't worry about this, don't worry about the project concept, I'll cover Arjun. Okay sir, hibernate course, Shashi Ranjan asked me, sir, hibernate course. Yes, hibernate is a part of corporate Java. You know that means I'll start how to write, means before starting the coding part I'll show you like how we start to learn Java, like core, advanced and corporate. So hibernate is a part of corporate Java, but before that you have to understand like core Java concept, okay, advanced Java concept, then you are easily able to understand what is an hibernate, because hibernate replaces JDBC. So first you need to understand like what is JDBC, right? Java database connectivity. Okay, so there are a lot of questions are there, so I'll come later on and I'll cover all this. Okay, so sir, how can I explain what is Java including class and object? Okay, don't worry, I'll cover all this topic. Okay, what is class, what is object, so don't worry about this. Okay, I'll cover all this object oriented programming concept, okay, in this session, even in upcoming session, so not to worried about this. Okay, so now let me start with the most important concept, like what is object oriented programming language, right? Please listen all this concept very carefully. Okay, again I'm repeating, if you want to clear the interviews of topmost MNCs, you have to know the concept of object oriented programming first, right? So what are these concepts, like object oriented programming, right? But before this object oriented programming, let me show you, you know, object oriented programming means what? Object oriented programming means what? Object oriented programming means this concept. If language supports all this concept, we say that that is an object oriented programming language, right? But you know, there is one another definition of object oriented programming is there. Object oriented programming means object based plus inheritance. Object based plus inheritance, right? So anyone you can, like, okay, let me repeat once again. Object oriented programming means a language who supports all this concept. A language who supports all this concept, that is an object oriented programming language, right? But there is another definition of object oriented programming, like object oriented programming means object based plus inheritance. So anyone you can anyone from you can tell me, like, what is object based programming language? Again I'm repeating, object oriented programming equals to object based plus inheritance. So according to you, what is object based programming language? Okay, anyone like object oriented programming means what? All this concept, right? And there is another definition of object oriented programming. Object oriented programming equals to object based plus inheritance. So what exactly the meaning of object based programming language, right? The meaning of object based programming language is what? A language who don't support inheritance concept. Language is having all this concept, like this, that language is having the concept of polymorphism, data hiding, class, okay, object, right? But that language don't have a inheritance concept, right? So is there any language in market which is an object based programming language? Okay, you know, object based, difference between object based and object oriented. Okay, object oriented means a language who supports all the concept: polymorphism, encapsulation, class, object, is a relation, has a relation, association, aggregation, composition, right? All this concept, right? And there is another definition: object based plus inheritance is also called object oriented programming. So that language who don't have a concept of inheritance, and remaining all concepts are there, but except inheritance. Okay, so that is called an object-based programming language. Anyone is having any idea, is any language in market which is an object-based programming language? Anyone is having any idea about this object-based programming language concept? There are two different languages are there, okay, who don't have okay, there are a lot of answer I received from your side, okay, JavaScript, okay, Deepesh, JavaScript is definitely, JavaScript is an object-based programming language. JavaScript don't have inheritance concept, right? There is another language which is also known as object-based programming language, Visual Basic 6.0. I'm talking about Visual Basic 6.0 is an object-based programming language. Visual Basic, you know, Visual Basic 6.0 is a language which is very much used in the era of 2000 to 2010, 2015. It was a one-sided language for desktop application given by Microsoft, Visual Basic 6.0, right? But you know, this language is having a drawback, like Visual Basic 6.0 is an object-based programming language. It is an object-based programming language, right? And that time, I'll show you a very interesting story. Okay, let me discuss very interesting story about this. Okay, like you know, when Java came in the market, Microsoft need to launch any new software which is actually compete Java. Okay, so they are planning for .NET. They were planning for .NET exactly, right? So .NET is what? .NET was a technology came in the market to compete the Java, right? So, you know, one of the most important concept about this .NET is what? Earlier, okay, .NET supports maximum those languages which is object-oriented programming language. You know, there are a lot of language like to compete Java. Actually, Microsoft developed a platform in which multiple languages are worked together. And that was a .NET platform, right? So .NET is what? It is a platform where multiple languages are worked together. If you heard like VB.NET, C#.NET, ASP.NET, right? There are a lot of languages who works in .NET, but the first condition, if any language want to work in this .NET platform, first condition is that language must be an object-oriented programming language. So that it is possible that language works under this .NET umbrella. Right, so Visual Basic 6.0 was not object oriented that time, right? But later on they actually Microsoft ready with the version of 7.0 of Visual Basic. Please listen it very carefully, it's a very interesting story, right? So Microsoft actually added inheritance feature in this VB 6.0 and they were ready with this VB 7.0 with the feature of object-oriented programming, right? Because once inheritance added in this VB 6.0, now language is an object-oriented programming language. But that new version is not came in the market with VB 7.0 because now this VB is ready to work with this .NET platform. So they launched the new version with the name called VB.NET. VB.NET, right? So, there is a big difference between VB 6.0 and VB.NET. Visual Basic 6.0 is an object-based programming language, while VB.NET is an object-oriented programming language, right? Sometimes student may ask, sir, you are teaching Java, then why you are discussing this concept? You know, in interview, they will ask any question. If they will pay you a high salary, okay, if you are planning for a topmost MNCs, you have to understand all this concept. Okay, because this is according to me, it is a general knowledge of IT field. You have to understand all this concept. Okay, what is the difference between this? Okay, no doubt they will opt you as a Java developer. But the interviewer also want to check your knowledge about the other field. Right? It's like, if you have any idea about this object-based programming language concept, do you have any idea about like this, like who is a competitive technology came in market to compete Java, like .NET was the language, like, because you know Java is a language developed by Sun Microsystem. Right now is a product of Oracle, right? And this .NET is a product of Microsoft, right? So that time exactly they came in the market with this platform called .NET. So VB.NET, nowadays we say that VB.NET is an object-oriented programming language because it supports inheritance also, right? So I hope you understood like what is the difference between this object-based programming language and object-oriented programming language. So object-based plus inheritance is object-oriented. Okay, so VB, I hope you understood like VB, the difference between VB and VB.NET, right? So VB 6.0 is an object-based, while VB.NET is an object-oriented programming language. Okay, so now let me start this concept, like what is this important concept of object-oriented programming. Okay, let me explain you all this concept one by one. And one of the fantastic thing about this object-oriented programming is what all this concept you can easily understand with real world example. These all concepts are related with real world. Okay, like let me show you like polymorphism. Okay, anyone you can tell me any word. Okay, the first word of this polymorphism is a poly. So anyone tell me any real time example is a word starts with this poly. Any real world example which starts with this poly. Type it fast. I don't want the explanation, Dipesh, sorry. I don't want explanation of polymer. I want a word of real world starts with this poly. Any real world name starts with this poly. Boss, I know poly means many. I know I don't want this thing. Okay, I want any word, any real world word which starts with this poly. Okay, Dipesh is polycarbonates. Yes. Any more word here? It's a very common word. Any new word, like any common word. Polytechnic, definitely. Shashwat had given polytechnic, right? Polytechnic. Okay. Polythin, polygon, polycab, and this is what polymorphism. So see this concept, like every concept of this object-oriented programming is associated with real world. We can easily understand this concept with real world example. Right, so polymorphism means what? Let me show you. Poly means many. The meaning of poly means many. Yes, polythene is there are multiple words are there, right? So poly means many. And you know what is polymorphism? What is the meaning of polymorphism? Polymorphism means to achieve more than one thing from a single thing. To achieve more than one thing from a single thing is called a polymorphism. It's a single line definition. If suppose they will ask you an interview, what is polymorphism? You can simply say that to achieve more than one thing from a single thing is called a polymorphism. Right. So sir, what are the examples? In real world, there are a lot of examples are there. Mobile is the best example of polymorphism. It's a real world concept, right? Okay. But see, you know, in interview, they will expect technical examples. Okay, so please try to answer technical examples in interview. I'll explain you, don't worry about this, what type of technical examples I'm talking about, right? So in interview they expect, okay, don't say like mobile. Okay, this mobile is okay for understanding purpose, right? Mobile is an example of polymorphism, like okay, like wood is an example of polymorphism. Okay, milk is an example of polymorphism, like with the milk we create so many things, like okay, curd is there, ghee is there, sweets is there, right? But see, these are very good example for understanding, right? But see, don't means explain your polymorphism in interview with this example, which exactly what I'm trying to tell you, right? If suppose they will ask you in interview, okay, tell me the example of polymorphism, so that time please cover a technical concept, like, so sir, what is the technical example of polymorphism? You know, polymorphism means what? Polymorphism means what? To achieve more than one thing from a single thing. That is called a polymorphism, right? Polymorphism means what? To achieve more than one thing from a single thing, right? The best example of polymorphism is operator overloading. Operator overloading. Okay, and okay, let me suggest you one more thing. Okay, please listen it very carefully. Like, someone of you is having idea about this object oriented concept earlier, like suppose you have knowledge of C++, that time you learn this concept, like okay, so don't be don't get confused, because you know, in when I talk about the object oriented programming in the sense of Java, there are a lot of things I need to change, because you know, there is a big difference between operator overloading in C++ and operator overloading in Java. What is that big difference? I'll show you. Okay, so means, okay, if you have this concept, if you know the concept of object oriented programming, still listen all this concept very carefully, because lot of things we'll discuss in Java related with this object oriented programming, and that is a very big differences, right, between the support of object oriented programming in C++ and support of object oriented programming in Java. Right, so operator overloading, this is one of the example of polymorphism. Method overloading, okay, method overloading, this is one of the example of polymorphism, right? In C++ we say that function overloading also, right? So function overloading, you can say that method overloading. Okay, again there is a question like difference between function and method. I'll show you, don't worry about this. Like, so operator overloading, method overloading, function overloading, all these are the examples of polymorphism. Okay, real time we say that, okay, there are a lot of examples are there, but yes, they actually in interview, the interviewer expect this type of question. Means they will, if this type of answer, sorry, means they expected their operator overloading. Okay, they expect from your side, okay, you explain polymorphism with this example, like operator overloading, method overloading, function overloading. Okay, so what does it means, like what is operator overloading, sir? Okay, so now let me show you this concept with comparison of C, C++ and Java. Okay, so that you will get a clear clarity like why we say that Java is more object oriented as compared to C++. You will get a clear clarity with this example. Okay, operator overloading is the best example to understand like why we say that Java is more object oriented as compared to C++. You know, operator overloading means what? When a single operator is performed more than one task. When a single operator is performed more than one task, that is called an operator overloading, right? Like suppose, you know, like 10 plus 20. Okay, 20.5 plus 10.5. Okay, and suppose A plus B. Anyone you can tell me what this operation is all about? Like 10 plus 20, 20.5 plus 10.5, A plus B, or like, okay, forget about this A plus B, okay. 10 plus 20, 20.5 plus 10.5, what type of operation is this? Ten plus 20, 25 point plus 10.5. This is an addition operation. Simple, sir. It is an addition, right? Simply you add this number. But you know, suppose if I'll write here hello plus, suppose hello plus friends. Okay. When I add plus operator between two string, Because you know the data which we used in double quotes is called a string, right? So hello plus friend, you know what this operation is called? When we add two strings, what is this meaning? Like this operation is called addition. Is this an addition? This operation is called concatenation. Actually, we concate two strings. Okay, always remember when two strings are added, that is not called addition. This is called concatenation. This is a concatenation concept. Okay, so 10 plus 20 is an addition. 25 point plus 10.5 is an addition. But hello plus friend is not an addition. It is a concatenation. So if anyone from you is having any idea, please, I want answer of this question. If you have any idea, like in C language, C, I am talking about C and C++. Is it possible in C and C++ that we use directly plus operator for this operation? Specifically in C language, can we directly add this hello and friend with this plus operator? In C and C++, it is not possible that you add this two data with this plus operator, because in C, plus operator is not used for concatenation. In C language, we use plus operator for addition only. In C, we use plus operator for addition, not for concatenation, right? In C++, any one of you having any idea, like in C, there is a function which we use for this concatenation. You know, please be interactive, because if you really want me to explain the things in more better way, please interact. Okay, please interact means please answer my every question. If you don't have any idea, still you can write, okay sir, I don't have any idea. No sir. Again I'm repeating my question. Any one of you is having idea, like in C language, which is a function which we use for this concatenation purpose? In C, there is a function called strcat. strcat, you know, plus is not perform a concatenation. Listen it very carefully, like plus is not able to perform concatenation in C language. So what C developer did? They given a function. Why they given a function? Why they given a function? Right, because C is a function oriented programming language. Problem of every solution in C is a function. Got it? So that's why the reason we say that C is a function oriented programming language. Like in C, plus operator is only we used for addition purpose, right? We never use plus operator in C language for concatenation, because there is a function in C called strcat for concatenation. So we say that this is not an object oriented language. C doesn't support operator overloading concept. C don't have an operator overloading concept, because it's a procedure oriented programming language. It's a function oriented programming language. Each and every concept in C given in the form of function only. The solution of every problem in C language is a function. Got it? You know, in C++, no doubt, strcat is there. But you know, in C++, it is possible that, okay, you overload this plus operator for concatenation purpose, but for that you have to write at least 20 to 25 lines of code. Then only this plus operator will be able to perform concatenation. That is what C++ says. C++ says, boss, I am having a function strcat. Okay, that is actually came from C language, because I am an incremented version of C language. So I also having an strcat function. But yes, if you want to concatenate a string, okay, using plus operator, you have to write a code. So I'll support this code and your plus operator perform concatenation task. right? That is what C++ said. Okay, means plus is not exactly derived operator in C++ for concatenation, but yes, since it is an object oriented programming language, it supports an object oriented concept, so operator overloading is possible in C++. But you know the most important thing about this, please listen it very carefully. In C++, operator overloading is possible in two ends. At developer ends as well as at a programmer end. You know developer and programmer? A developer of C++, okay, Bergeno stuff, the developer of C++ has given so many operator which is an overloaded operator. You know in C++, if you have any idea of C++, then like this insertion exertion operator, this is scope resolution operator, these are called overloaded operator in C++. This is an insertion exertion operator. This is also called left shift and right shift operator. This is scope resolution operator is an overloaded operator. Okay, so in C++, developer has given so many operator which is an overloaded operator. So operator overloading is possible at developer end? Yes, in C++ it is possible. Sir, being a programmer, can I overload an operator in C++? Yes, it is possible that being a programmer, if you are a C++ programmer, you are also able to overload any operator like plus, minus, multiply, divide. Okay, as per your requirement, you overload this operator for your own purpose. So please listen it very carefully. Like in C++, operator overloading is possible at developer end as well as at programmer end. Programmer, you know, programmer means what? A person who actually learn any language, like developer who develop the language, and a person who actually learn the language, that is called a programmer. Like you and me are a programmer of Java. I am not a developer of Java. Okay, in IT industry there is a post, but actually developer means what? A person who developed. Means if I am talking about in the sense of Java, okay, a person who developed the Java, that there is a developer, right? And we are a programmer. Okay, so in C++, overloading is possible both programmer and developer end. Right, and that's why the reason in C++ when we overload an operator, when we write a program to overload an operator, we simply say that it's a temporary operator overloading. You know, once you start operator overloading in C++, okay, anyone would actually teach, anyone who explain this concept, they clearly mention like operator overloading in C++ is possible at programmer end, but it's a temporary overloading. It's not permanent overloading. Like in C++, we overload this plus operator for concatenation, but it is a temporary, like only for a single program you overload this, but it means not that it's a permanently overloading. Like it is not possible that after overloading you can use this plus operator in any program. It's a temporary overloading. Right? But the most beautiful thing about this operator overloading in Java, okay, I hope you understood till now. I hope you understood all this concept. If you have any doubt regarding this, please mention. Okay, like I hope you understood like what exactly I explained you about this overloading concept, what is developer end, what is programmer end. Please mention yes or no. So I'll start the next one accordingly. Okay, so now listen it very carefully. Okay, in Java, there is a concept of operator overloading, but in Java, operator overloading is possible only at developer end. You know, that's the reason why we say that Java is the most secure language of the world, right? Like, you know, with this plus operator in C++, you know, in C++, it is possible that when I use this plus operator between these two numbers, it's possible that you write a code in C++, like if I write 15 plus 10, my program will not add these two numbers. My program will print, okay, bye-bye friend. It is possible in C++. Okay, if you want, I'll show you the code. Like suppose if you write 15 plus 10, it prints bye-bye friend. If you add this plus operator between 50 and 10, answer is 25, right? But you overload this plus operator to print this like bye-bye friend. Because at programmer end, it is possible that you overload this operator for any purpose. And that's the reason Java not support operator overloading at programmer's end. That is the most important thing you need to understand. In Java, operator overloading is only possible at developer end, not at the end of programmer, boss. The most important interview question regarding this operator overloading. Because if you mention, listen it very carefully, right? If you mention the languages in your resume, they will definitely ask you a question like comparison. Like if you mention C++ and Java in your resume, if you mention C++ and Java in your resume, this is the very frequently asked question. Okay, tell me the overloading concept in C++ and Java. Because you mention in your resume that you know C, you know the C++ and you know the Java. So at the time of preparing a resume, means things, you have to take care of all these things. Write only those languages exactly actually you know about this language. Okay, what exactly I'm trying to tell you. Only write those languages in a resume which you studied thoroughly. Okay, because this type of a question, they will definitely ask you if you mention like C++ and Java in your resume. Right, so I hope you understood, like in C++, operator overloading is possible at both developer and programmer level, but in Java, operator overloading is possible only at developer end, not at the programmer end. We are not able to write any code in Java to overload an operator, but there are a lot of operator in Java which is an overloaded operator. There are a lot of operator in Java, okay, which is exactly an overloaded operator. I'll explain it. Like in Java, no need to overload this plus operator. Any time you can write like 10 plus 20, it is 30, and hello plus friend, it is hello friend. Like plus in Java is overloaded for addition as well as concatenation. The best, means this is what exactly an object-oriented concept. The best part of Java language. Java has given me this plus operator is an overloaded operator. So anytime if you want to add, if you want to perform addition operation, you can simply write 10 plus 20 plus 30. Okay, the result is 60. And if you want to write like hello plus friends, okay, you can simply get your answer like hello friend. If you simply write hello, okay, hello plus 20, okay, then answer is hello 20. Like for any purpose you can use this plus operator, because in Java plus is overloaded operator. That operator given by a developer, and that is what this is what the language which is based on object oriented concept. The language who supports object oriented concept and language who don't know object oriented concept. This is the best example to understand. Like why we say that Java is more object oriented as compared to C++. I hope you understood, right? And this is only one example. And I'm having at least 50,000 examples which exactly says that Java is more object oriented as compared to C++. In Java, you will not find any concept who violate the security concept, like pointer, Java don't have pointer concept. Friend function, Java don't have friend function concept. There are a lot of things like, okay, which actually removed by Java, who actually we are having in C++ and C language. So what most secure, most simple, okay, reliable, that is what language is Java is all. Okay, sustainable, okay, reliable, simple, secure, and lot of features are there. Okay, so don't worry, I'll explain you all this concept, but I hope you understood like what exactly the meaning of this operator overloading. Any doubt, please mention. And if you understood all this concept, so please tell me yes, because in this online session you have to be more interactive, so that I consider that okay, you are able to understand like all these things. Okay, let me check some of the question, if any question. Okay sir, what about Python operator overloading? Okay Deepesh, see, this time we'll more focus on Java. Okay, so when I compare Java with Python, then I'll come to this question. Don't worry about this. Okay, because in upcoming session I'll compare Java with every language, like Java with C++, Java with Python. Okay, that I'll cover. That time I'll cover all this concept. Don't worry about this. Okay. So if you have any doubt, like Okay, so there is no question related with route, so let me continue this one. Okay, in JavaScript, even Node.js is there. Node.js is an updated technology. Okay, so that in Node.js, they support inheritance concept. Okay, but JavaScript is an object-based programming language. Okay, so and even Visual Basic is an object-based programming language. Some question related with that, so I'll cover this. Okay, so I hope till now you understood all this concept. Now let me show you the next one. Okay, like suppose what exactly this method overloading. But sir, most of the time you use this like method function. Okay, let me ask this question to you. Anyone from you is having any idea what is the difference between function and method? This is the very frequently question of interview. Function versus method. In a single line. I want this answer in a single line. What is the difference between function and method? Anyone? What is the difference between function and method? Function versus method. In a single line, very briefly you answer it. If you have any idea. If you don't have any idea, don't worry about this. You can simply write, okay sir, please explain. No, we don't have any idea. I know about function and method, but not method. Okay, it's a very simple concept, Function and difference between function and method. Okay, let me show you. Function is a method and method is a function. Okay, sir, what exactly you want to tell us, right? See, when a function is a member of a class, okay, like suppose it is a class, okay, don't worry about this coding part, okay, don't take any tension about this coding part, okay. When a function is a member of a class, that is called a method. When it is outside the class, it is called a function. That is the only difference between function and method. If it is a member of a class, it is a method. If it is outside the class, it is a function. So now let me ask some of the question. Like, can we say that C is having a method or C is having a function? In C we have a method or in C we have a function? Definitely in C we have a function, right? Because C is a function oriented programming language, because in C there is no concept of method. But can we say that in Java, can we use a function word in Java? Because in Java it is not at all possible you are able to write anything outside the class or interface. Interface is a different concept, but Java is not support to write anything outside the class. So never use function word in Java. In Java each and everything is a method only. In Java, each and everything is a method, right? In Python, we use this both word like function and method, because in Python, some of the things are the member of a class, some of the things outside the class also, right? So in Python, we say that it's a function as well as method. But in Java, we always say that each and everything is a method, like, okay, because if it is a member of a class, it is a method. When it is outside the class, it is a function. So if in interview they will ask you, okay, what is the difference between function and method? It's a very simple answer. It's a very simple answer, like when a function is outside the class, it is a function. When it is a member of a class, it is a method. Okay. So I hope you understood the difference between this function and method. Okay. So now let me show you what exactly the meaning of this method overloading. Because in Java we don't have function overloading concept. Again, this is the most important question, boss. They will ask you like in Java, because sometimes in flow, even we answer the things. Okay. So please listen each and every question very carefully in interview. Like suppose if they will ask you, okay, in Java we have a function overloading. So students say, yes sir, in Java we have a function overloading. But this is a wrong answer. In Java we don't have function overloading concept. Function overloading and method overloading both is possible in C++. In C++ it is possible function overloading and method overloading. Like I hope you understood, like, okay, because in C++ you write a code without a class also, but in Java we have a concept of method overloading only. We don't have a concept of function overloading. Like if someone of you have any idea of C++, like in C++, you can write a code something like this: void add, okay, void add one function without parameter, void add, okay, one function with two parameter. Okay, I see earlier I told you that to learn Java, I don't require any prerequisition. But if someone of you have any idea for that, this is the concept, right? If you don't have any idea of C++, don't get frustrated, don't get nervous. Okay, like this example is only for those people who is having an idea of C++. Right? If you don't have any idea, I'll explain you all this concept in Java. Don't worry about this. When I'll start the coding part, I'll show you all this concept. Okay, but see this one. In C++, it is possible that we write a code like void add without parameter, void add int ab, and even void add int a comma int b comma int c. It is possible that you create three functions whose name is same but parameter is different. In C++ it is possible. Even in C++ it is also possible that you write a code something like this: class ABC. In this class ABC we have a method like void add, okay, without parameter, okay, void add void add with two parameter, okay, and void add with three parameter. In C++, it is also possible, like you define a method, something like this, right? So please listen it very carefully. In C++, it is a method overloading. In C++, it is a method overloading because these both are member of a class. In C++, it is a function overloading because in C++ we also have even function overloading concept. Without a class, even you are able to write a code in C++, right? So this two example itself indicate that C++ is having both function overloading and and method overloading concept. But once we start this overloading concept in Java, okay, then it is only possible that we'll do method overloading, not function overloading. In Java, simply you write multiple method whose name is same and parameter is different, right? Because Java supports method overloading. Now another question comes, right, sir, in Java, method overloading is possible in both developer and programmer end, or like it is like a operator? Like there is a difference between operator overloading and method overloading in Java. Operator overloading in Java is only possible at developer end, not at the programmer end. But method overloading is possible in Java at both the end. Like Java developer has given us so many method which is an overloaded method. Okay, I'll discuss this thing when I write my first program, Hello World program in Java. Because in Java there is a method called print. Print is an overloaded method. There is a method in Java called println. It is an overloaded method. So developer has given so many method in Java which is an overloaded method. And even overloading is also possible at programmer end. It is possible that we define multiple method whose name is same and parameters are different. Anyone is having idea? Like if someone of you having any idea of Python, is overloading is possible in Python? Is method overloading or function overloading is possible in Python? Please explain if you have any idea of Python. Okay, meanwhile I'll take a break of 2 minutes. Okay, answer this question, okay. See, in Python, you can exactly means Python is not directly support method overloading concept. In Python, it is not possible that you can write multiple methods with same name and different parameter, right? If you write such type of code in Python, it is a method overriding concept. Like this second method overrided the first one. So directly Python not support method overloading. Okay, but okay, let me explain all this concept and I'll come to the topic, the difference between Java. Okay, Java and Python when I compare Java with Python. But yes, so here we say that in Java method overloading is possible. There is no concept of function overloading because you are not able to write anything in Java outside the class. But yes, it is possible that you define multiple methods with the same name and different parameter. Okay, so operator overloading, I hope you understood this two most important concept. Like operator overloading is in Java is possible at only developer end, not at the programmer end, but yes, it supports operator overloading. Okay, and method overloading is also possible in Java. Okay, and it is in both the end, like programmer end as well as at the end of developer also. And in C we don't have this concept. So I hope you understood like the difference between this, like okay, where the concept is exactly. Okay, let me show you. Okay, we started this like C, C++ and Java. That slide, actually I need to search that slide where we discussed about C, C++ and Java. Okay, let me search it. Yes, so this one. So I hope now you understood like what exactly the difference between these three languages. Okay, like related with this, not one example. Okay, because in related with this operator overloading I'm talking about. Okay, so in C there is no concept of method overloading, function overloading, operator overloading because this language is the function oriented. In C++, we have a concept of method overloading and operator overloading both. Okay, and in C++ method overloading and operator overloading both is possible in both the end, at developer end as well as programmer end. In Java we have a concept of both we have a concept like operator overloading as well as method overloading. We don't have function overloading concept because in Java we don't have any function concept, right? So in Java overloading is possible at both the end but not operator. Operator overloading is possible at developer end, not at the programmer end, but method overloading is possible at both the end, like developer end as well as programmer end. So I hope you understood like what exactly the meaning of this polymorphism. You know what exactly the meaning of this polymorphism. Polymorphism means what? To achieve more than one thing from a single thing is called a polymorphism. Okay, there are a lot of real-time example, but in interview they accept only the technical example. They actually ask this question so that you answer a technical example. So in interview you have to explain this concept like operator overloading and method overloading or function overloading are examples of polymorphism. So I hope you understood like okay, what exactly this meaning. Now let me show you like what exactly the meaning of this data hiding and abstraction. But this time don't allow me for that because this takes around 30 to 40 minutes to explain me what exactly the meaning of this data hiding and abstraction. Because you know this all concept are very much important, not even the point of view of interview room but even the point of view of software development. Without this concept you are not able to survive in current market because every language in nowadays uses object oriented concept. So you have to understand all this concept very thoroughly. Okay, in interview you have to answer all this concept, right? Because definitely they will ask you, okay, so what does it means, like what is data hiding, what is abstraction, what is encapsulation, and then what is inheritance. So only this because you know the key concept of object oriented programming is what? Security. Java is well known in the market for security. Okay, and data hiding and abstraction is one of the most important thing you need to understand because this concept actually given a birth of security like data hiding and abstraction. So what is the meaning of data hiding? What is the meaning of abstraction? It will take around 30 to 40 minutes me to explain all this concept with proper example. Okay, then we'll discuss inheritance concept like what is inheritance. reusability concept, and then classes, object, is a relation, has a relation, association, aggregation, but it will take time. Okay, so I hope till now you understood all this concept what I explained you. Okay, we started with the concept like what is Java. Okay, let me revise all this concept what we studied in today's class. Okay, we started with what is Java. Okay, so I explained you like Java is an open source. Okay, Java is an open source language. It's a freeware language. It's an object oriented programming language, and it's a platform independent language. So it is called open source because its source code is openly available. It's a freeware because there is no need to purchase any licensed software to work with Java. Okay, you can easily install this. You can easily download the installation of Java. Okay, and install in your machine. Okay, so I hope you understood all this concept. Then what is object-oriented programming? What is the difference between object-oriented and object-based language? I hope now you have a clear clarity about object-oriented, object-based. Okay, why .NET came in the market with the competition of Java. That all concept we discussed till now, right? And then object-oriented, among this object-oriented concept, only one concept I explained you till now, that is polymorphism. And remaining all concept I'll cover in my next live session. So don't worry, I'll catch you in the next class. But now let me check some more questions. If you have any doubt, then please type your question so that I'll answer it. Function is defined outside a class. Yes, Mahi, a function is always be outside a class, and method is defined inside a class. Yes. Sir, how many class in Java? Okay, Ansari is asking me. Ansari, it means this question like you ask me like how many stars are there, right? So it's quite difficult to answer this question because Java is only well known for a classes, right? Java is well known for a classes. So there are a lot of, I'll explain all this concept and I'll come to the technical part. Don't worry about this. Okay, so how many classes are there in Java? If you have any doubt, if you have any question related in today's session, so please ask me. Okay, related with today's session, like any doubt like polymorphism, or if you like, if you understood all this concept, then please mention yes sir. Okay. Developer end and programmer end. Developer end and programmer end means what? See, I am talking about Deepesh to current lecture. Sir, Deepesh, your most question is related with Python. I think you most like Python rather than Java. C Python and J Python, this concept, if you want to understand this concept, please watch my Python videos so that you will get your answer, like what is the difference between C Python and Java Python. Okay. So developer end and programmer end means what? The things which is actually supported by developer, like operator overloading in Java is supported by developer end. Developer end means a Java developer has given so many operator which is an overloaded operator. But being a programmer, you and me are not able to overload any operator. That is called developer and a programmer end. You and me are a programmer. And developer is a person who developed the Java. James Gosselin, okay, don't worry about the history part. I'll explain all this concept. Okay, so James Gosselin is a developer of Java, right? So we are a programmer. So in Java, overloading is possible. A developer, it means developer is given so many operator which is an overloaded operator. We are not able to overload operator in Java, right? Sir, I have a question. Okay, Bhola, please ask me. So difference between C++ and Java, don't worry Ansari, I'll explain this like when I'll come to the next topic. After object-oriented programming, after, you know, the roadmap, please, means there are a lot of questions related with the upcoming session, like difference between C++ and Java, some of the questions related with Python and Java. But let me explain the roadmap, okay, what I'm going to cover in next session. In next session, I'm going to cover all this object-oriented concept because, you know, the definition is what? It is an object-oriented, platform-independent, open source, freeware language. So till now we understood like what is open source, freeware. Then in next session I'll cover like object-oriented. Then I'll cover platform independency concept. And then I'll cover like features of Java, difference between C++ and Java, difference between Java and Python. that I'll cover in that upcoming session. So that time all the doubts of your will going to be clear, like difference between C++ and Java, difference between Java and Python. So don't worry about this. But we need to follow this roadmap. Okay, first we need to follow this roadmap, and then after I'll show you like what are the topic we are going to cover in core Java, like data type, loop concept, conditional statement, okay, arrays concept, collection concept, exception, inheritance, okay, and then multi-threading, collection framework, IO concept, swings, and everything. Okay, and then advanced and then corporate. C++, oops, please. See, this object-oriented concepts are mostly used in C++ also, right? So don't worry, once you understand, once you are able to understand all this concept, these concepts are most likely used in C++ also, right? So object-oriented concepts are same, you know. See, inheritance is the same concept. Even in Java, we have an inheritance concept. Even in C++, we have an inheritance concept, right? So oops are same. There is no difference between object-oriented concept. Every language supports all these object-oriented concepts, right? Sir, pointers का use क्यों नहीं होता Java में? Okay, I'll show you this. Don't worry about this. When I'll come to this topic, I'll show you like what is the difference. See, again, this topic is related with the difference between C++ and Java. Okay, so your most question is related with my upcoming session. I'm asking you if any doubt related in today's session, so that you will ask me. Okay, so I think there is no doubt you have. So, okay, I'll catch you in the next lecture. I hope you enjoy this. If you really enjoy this lecture, please mention your comment box so that I'll give, so that I give, you means I have some boost up. Okay, when I see this comment, okay, there is a boost up. Okay, student will get all this thing. Okay, so your answer will boosting me up. Okay, so if you have no doubt, then it's very good. But still, if you have a doubt, okay, you can also mail us. Okay, so I'll catch you in the next lecture, and then we'll discuss the remaining concept, which is the most important concept, like data hiding, abstraction, inheritance, class, object. Okay, so let's meet in the next class. Till then, take care. Bye bye.